Did the Scottish Supernova and the Silver Sack of Spuds finally mash it out?
It's 7 versus 11.
Gentlemen, raise your beverages. This is an NXT party.
Support, no DQ.
Welcome everybody to the NXT party for episode number 66 of NXT UK. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Stefan.
Good morning, best friends.
Oh, overacting. Joining us this morning on the big screen, we've got Colin Andrew, the Cleaver himself. How's it going, Colin?
Oh, it's going real good. Real good. How are we doing today?
20 minutes into starting to record this after blooper after blooper after blooper and outtake. Here we are.
It's good shit.
Highlight reel coming December 2020.
You know, we need some excitement on the show because tonight's show for NXT UK wasn't particularly exciting as a whole. There are spots here and there. We have a tag match that had a few pretty good spots.
Yeah.
Just, few and far between. And the main event, I believe, really pulled this show together as making it something worth watching as a whole from beginning to end. Speaking of beginnings, we start the show with Imperium. Now,
Always a great way to start a show.
for 10 or 15 seconds when they're all standing at the Tron in the silhouette, and it's so cool looking, then they come down to the ring and they've got that sweet entrance where all three of the lackeys get in at the same time. Then Walter gets in and then they all pose at the Jerry he fanboys out for that.
I do.
He loves it.
I can't help it. It's so synchronized and badass. It's very fascist in its own way, but at the same time, whatever.
But after this, we have sort of I don't know, it wasn't cold necessarily, but kind of lukewarm opening for Imperium because Marcel Bartel grabs the mic and Jerry automatically, he's like, here goes the crowd boos. Like 3 dudes in the back row.
Yeah.
Boo Marcel Bartel. But other than that, the crowd doesn't really know what to do. It's like, come on, this has been the formula over the last several months when Imperium comes to the ring and Marcel Bartel always gets on the mic first.
Just when he holds the microphone, you automatically want to boo the guy. It's pretty awesome.
But that's not to say this was a bad crowd. They have just sat through it an hour's worth of taping.
Yeah.
Maybe less than that, once you add the backstage stuff and the commercials. But it didn't feel like anything of importance, really.
It was just an excuse for him to say the word kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Marcel Bartel says that the champ, he doesn't even call him Walter, he just gives them all sort of descriptions.
And like to address his kingdom.
His kingdom. And that...
Most honorable champion.
Yeah. That brings out, who else but Gallus, somewhere in between Walter's 7th and 8th word.
Yeah.
He doesn't get a lot of talk in. They come out, interrupt. And there's a lot of personality here, especially as Jerry noted while we watched, out of Mark Coffey, or Marcus Coffey.
Yeah.
But very little substance. Other than the fact that we kind of see that it's now going to be Gallus versus Imperium somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Which is fine. We've been rooting or hoping for this for several months now. And I guess this is our introduction to it. But I don't think it was that great. Am I alone here?
It really wasn't. There was a lot of dead air.
Yeah.
There was, so, right off the rip, something like the way that Marcel Bartel talks, okay? He does it too slow. You people. I love the dude, but it's just, speed it up a little bit. I know there's a little bit of a language barrier, but not much.
Maybe not quite as bad as Big John Laurinaitis, but still,
Oh, yeah.
I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But no, I thought there was a lot of dead air here. It could have been a lot better. As you said, Stefan, yes, they probably sat through. If this was not night 2 of tapings in that location, then they have sat through a good, I don't know, at least 3 hours of stuff by now.
Yeah.
So, I know after sitting for 3 hours, I'm like, dude, I'm done. I want to go home. Like, so obviously we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because where does Gallus go from here to defend their tag titles? So maybe we're going to see, what I have a feeling we're going to see first is probably see the Gallus boys take on Wolf, Eichner, and Marcel first. And then I see somehow Joe Coffey, if they get the win, going after Walter for
the UK Championship.
The United Championship.
Meanwhile, hopefully we see Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner go after the tag team titles.
Titles. But I have a feeling somehow we're going to get a 4th member of Gallus somehow to even the odds.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea who that's going to be.
Jerry had an idea on this. Go ahead, Jerry.
I think what's going to happen is Dragunov's going to be asked to join Imperium. He will reject this offer and get the crap knocked out of him. And that's going to have Gallus inviting them, not really as a member, but
one time.
Well, I liked it better the way you told it to me, where you said they come out and help Dragunov fend off Imperium, and that leads into him joining, just as a loose member.
Yeah, and then you'll have like his feud with Wolf, and you'll have Bartel and Eichner versus Mark and Wolfgang, and then you'll have Joe versus Walter.
I tell you what I'd like.
It could be War Games, or it could be just 4 separate matches.
Even if it was a War Games situation, what I like about this is you could tell a story that was told around War Games last year, where it was just after maybe the first War Games, where Roderick Strong finally turned on Pete Dunne.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was just after War Games because he competed in War Games with Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
But then. And during the tag match, I think it was a triple threat tag match, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
At the takeover after, that's when he turned on Pete Dunne.
Yep.
No, he turned on Pete Dunne during the Dusty Classic.
It was during the Dusty Classic, yes.
And then War Games, he was the 4th person.
Yes.
4th person, Undisputed Era, yes.
Yep.
Okay, so anyway, what I'd like to see happen is that go on for a little bit, but then Dragunov turn on Gallus. When it's important, maybe at War Games.
Pretty much like a general strategy, if you will. Actually have Dragunov infiltrate Gallus and then destroy him from within.
So anyway, that's enough fantasy booking. This was okay.
It's not going to be fantasy booking. It's going to show up on their television. We're going to have to start checking the space for wiretaps.
Right, because Jerry's predictions always come true when they don't mean points in the No DQ Cup.
Yeah, pretty much.
True story.
So after this, we've got Zaya Brookside cutting a promo into the screen from the Performance Center, and she's trying to update her fans on her, and I'm like, what fans? I mean, you're good. What fans?
You want a match against Dean Samuels last week? Okay.
Zaya Brookside's only fans want to jump out of the plane when she's running around the ring.
I was just glad she wasn't running around like a fucking plane during this video.
I think she changed her hair color to something I've never seen before in my life. I don't know if this is a color that actually exists other than on her head. This was her basically saying she wants revenge on Kaylee Ray because she was this close to getting a shot at the NXT UK Women's Championship, but Kaylee Ray got back in the ring from playing, I don't know.
She went through the middle rope and she just stayed out there.
Yeah, and then comes in at the very end and throws her over when she thinks she won.
Yeah.
So she wants revenge and she hopes that Kaylee Ray still has the championship when she gets her opportunity.
Mm.
Which means probably in 2 weeks we'll be seeing that.
And nobody wants to see that.
I mean, I don't
about
mind.
as many people that wanted to see Piper Niven versus Jazzy Gabbert.
Yeah. I don't mind seeing Zaya Brookside get squashed by Kaylee Ray. What I don't want to see is a bunch of unbelievable effort out of Zaya Brookside where it looks like she might win, because just everything, moveset, experience, everything says that it should still be a squash match.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who do you think she gets a win even if it's not for the title?
No. I think she'll continue her losing ways.
No surprise, non-title victory.
No.
Unless Ginny comes out and interferes or something.
Or no. That's how you bring back Toni Storm.
Oh.
Wow, I just completely...
I don't want to do this video anymore, guys.
At this point, I don't think I want to see how they bring back Toni Storm. I think just let her go to NXT where she's a small fish in a big pond.
But speaking of potential squash,
yeah, we have Oliver Carter come out, and Jerry mentioned, because he actually read part of the description of the show, that he saw something that was going to be awesome, and I'm like, don't spoil it for me, man. So he says as soon as Oliver Carter comes out, he's like, this match is going to be explosive. And I'm like, why? What's going on? And then Ashton Smith comes out as his partner, and Jerry's like, damn it. He thought it was going to be Ashton Smith versus Oliver Carter, and finally one of these sumbitches was going to get a win. Let me tell you, folks, as a tag team, they're even less likely to get a win because their opponents are the grizzled young veterans. That's Zach Gibson, James Drake, and surprisingly, though,
we got some offense in.
And some cool offense at that, here and there. Colin, what do you think about this tag match?
I enjoyed it. So Oliver Carter, he's shown up. He showed up not too long ago in NXT UK, and I really wasn't all about it. But putting him in a match with James Drake and Zach Gibson, I was a fan of it all day. I got to see some cool offensive moves and defensive moves out of him. So hopefully down the line, they can finally do something with this guy, because I do see a little potential in him more than Ashton Smith.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a decent match. I mean, the grizzled young veterans need to get their ass back in the game if they want to get back in the tag title picture. And I think this is a start of that. So it's always good to see Gibson and Drake, because they get better each time they're in the ring together, honestly. And once this team splits, I am excited to see each other's singles career too, because they are that good.
Maybe Zach Gibson, but I don't know. I feel like James Drake would get lost.
I love James Drake, man.
Me too, but in a tag format.
I see James Drake going for some sort of mid-card title.
Again, there is no mid-card title, so why do we torture ourselves when we bring up a possible mid-card title?
We torture ourselves on breaking up our favorite teams.
The European Championship over to NXT UK. I'm pulling a late wild card draft. This is our war room. We're sending it.
Unfortunately, we can only do that on the chopping block. So, yeah, we torture ourselves with this. Yes. It is so obvious they should have the European Championship on NXT UK. I even tweeted Triple H. I finally got sick of it, and I tweeted him.
I liked it.
And I think that was the only response to the tweet, was Colin liking it and possibly retweeting it. But no, Triple H probably didn't read it. And if he did, he's probably read 100 others.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the holdup there is.
Watch, it's going to pop up on NXT television or NXT UK television at one point, when he finally introduced the European belt, and it's gonna be up in his right hand corner or something really, really small. It's like, there I am.
They'll have my tweet for some reason just come across the bottom with all the other tweets.
Yep.
But it'll be like 7 months old.
Yep.
Whatever. It took them so long to finally get the North American Championship in NXT, and I don't care what they would have named it. It was a great decision, but mid-card title finally. So they learned, they figured it out, and now they're not implementing it on NXT UK. I realized that we had to introduce the Women's Championship and the Tag Team Championships in such a short amount of time that it probably seems like you're overdoing it, but it's been a fucking year now.
We've got plenty of mid-card talent, plenty of backstory on them. They need to be vying for something.
Yeah, give them something.
I mean, especially if the gold is going to be either in like Imperium, which is pretty much leading to, and then or Gallus. You know what I mean? You have two factions that have all the titles right now. There's got to be some middle ground for somebody else to do, because if not, what's the point?
So other than the finish, I have 2 notes for the entire match, and they are both for individual members of, well, Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith. They really don't have a tag team name. My note for Carter, he does this run up the ropes, like how Daniel Bryan does to jump over his opponent running in, only he doesn't run up the ropes. He runs up Zach Gibson, who's in, or no, it's James Drake. He runs up James Drake, who's in the corner, and then jumps over Zach Gibson and hits him with a belly-to-belly overhead throw when he turns around. Like, what? That was cool. And then my note on Smith, he hits a Tope Con Hilo over the top rope onto both the Grizzled Young Veterans, and then throws, I think it is, Drake into the ring, off the ropes, into a Blue Thunder Bomb.
That Blue Thunder Bomb was just perfect.
Gets a near fall off of that. But the end of the match, we get Ticket to Mayhem. Just some, not really shenanigans, but some definite grizzled tag team tactics.
Yeah.
You had the blind tag, as Jerry said, to James Drake's face, which actually was his ass. And I think it was Ashton Smith. Was it Ashton Smith or Oliver that took the pinfall?
It was Ashton Smith.
He didn't know that the blind tag had happened. Obviously, that's why it's called a blind tag. And then there's some moves, and he reverses, but then James Drake is standing in the good guy's corner, which surprisingly was on the close part of the ring.
Yeah.
That's a little weird. But he's standing in their corner with his arms behind his back, says, "Go ahead, hit me," while Zach Gibson is just winding up behind Ashton Smith, who doesn't know he's there, and nails him in the back of the head with it was either a forearm or a clothesline. And then they pick him up and take it to Mayhem. 1, 2, 3, Grizzled Young Veterans. And then they attack him after the match. Beat him down some more. And who comes to the rescue?
The team with 5 names.
Well, actually 9, because you've got the South Wales Subculture. South Wales Subculture, Flash, Morgan, Webster, Mark, Andrews. Yeah, that's 9.
Yep. Well, what I think is really weird, kind of sad, is Flash Morgan Webster's got them airbrushed onto the back of his jacket, and it's a complete team jacket, and Managers more or less just has a whole bunch of shameless self-promotion on his, and that's it.
So I did the math in my head. Because I love math, and they have more names than the entirety of Imperium. Because Walter only has the 1, so Imperium's got 8, and they've got 9.
Yep.
Son of a bitch. Jeez. Oh my god. Okay, so this, I guess, is going to set up either a 2-on-2 tag match between the South Wales Subculture and the Grizzled Young Veterans, or it's going to set up a 4-on-4 with Oliver and Ashton Smith, and then in the other corner, somehow, some way, 2 members of Gallus.
I doubt it.
I don't think so.
Is there another heel tag team that you can put with them?
Not currently, I don't think.
Other than Imperium?
Besides like Eichner and... No, not really.
No.
We can make one, obviously, but...
Well, they could throw together one because, I mean, basically Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith have been thrown together.
Just tossed together.
But still, we do get an encounter between the two teams, though, the Grizzled Young Veterans and Wolfgang and Mark Coffey. But that comes in a moment. Before I get to that, any last notes about this match?
No.
No.
All right. Our next vignette is Tyler Bate getting cornered in the back for an interview with an off. I guess it's the cameraman doing the interview.
Yeah.
That's how penny pinching they are in NXT UK.
Even then, he's probably a better interviewer.
Where the fuck is Radzi at? Did they lose Radzi?
He's still waiting on Tony
He's posted at the door. They're only going to cut to Razzie when she finally shows at the door. He's going to be sleeping. That's what it is. They're going to have Razzie.
The bow tie's going to be off to the side there, and he's like...
And the door is going to be cracked. And while they're focusing in on him sleeping, you'll see Tony Storm's leg come by. And you'll be like, wait, what? And then that'll be the night she returns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling it now, and if it does happen, it means they are tapping us because they know good TV when they hear it. So Tyler Bate is in the back, and he gets asked about, his future in NXT UK, and he's like, basically, I'm just going to go with the flow.
Yep. If they need me in NXT, I'll be there. If they need me in NXT UK, I'll be there.
And he says he likes Oliver Carter, the fresh young blood, and blah, blah, blah. But then he says... he's looking forward to A-Kid. He said he wrestled him in Spain?
Yep.
Yeah, who cares? He needs a new name. I don't know who this guy is, but what the fuck is up with that name?
Right.
He's already getting pretty decent sized hype, so...
So are we looking at the possibility of A-Kid joining him or joining British Strong Style? Are we looking at the possibility of somehow this ends up a feud?
I'm thinking, well, it's not going to be like Oliver Carter and be a complete, letdown that's been so far. Because it's like he came in with the energy of Kofi and hasn't won a match. So...
He did hit the welcome to Africa, motherfucker.
Yep.
Welcome to West Ghana. That's CM Punk's Welcome to Chicago, motherfucker, where he drops from a
suplex. I think
no, it's from a fireman's carry. Neck over the knee.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't know, man. Like he might have a start off like Dragunov did, but at the same time, like, what's with the name, man?
Kid.
His name screams jobber to me. Oh, well, anyway, after this, we get the Grizzled Young Veterans. This is where they're heading backstage after whatever happened, the commercial. And
yeah.
So this is during commercial break, I guess, and for some reason during Tyler Bates' interview. Why couldn't they just put this next? Anyway, they run into Wolfgang and Mark Coffey, and...
they tell them they're not done either. It's like, you guys need to focus less on Imperium and more on the former champions, because we're going to be champions again.
Take your pictures with your family and your friends with your titles while you can. Don't get too attached to that feeling.
Yep.
And then Zach Gibson's like, you've been champions, 5 minutes? Like, don't even talk to us like that, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
for some reason, to me, it feels like
cutter.
The Grizzled Young Veterans shouldn't be going for the title again for a while.
No.
I don't know what you do with them, and that scares me a little bit, because without the titles, it's like, damn, really, what do you do with them? But they held them for so long, and then lost them. I think it would mean more if they had a little bit of a chase, even a heel chase, which sounds a little odd, but a little bit more time before they get the titles back. Let Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner have them for a while.
Yep.
And then maybe they turn babyface, and so the crowd starts chanting, "If you love Zach Gibson, shoes up."
Shoes up. Hey.
That'd be I think that'd be really weird, but I think I'd accept it.
Because we love to hate Zach Gibson.
Yeah.
And I think the crowd, if he turned babyface, would turn babyface with him.
He's got the most chance out of anybody there.
You definitely get him, and as far as heels go, him and Jordan Devlin get the best crowd response.
Yes.
Because Walter is probably the biggest name. He's the best superstar, and he gets that Walter chant. But they're not chanting like he's a heel. They're chanting
Jolly Wally?
Yeah.
Well, we completely skipped the Jolly Wally.
Yeah, because nothing that Gallus said was decipherable for the most part.
I don't know.
Joe's pretty shit on the mic.
I understood a little bit of what Joe said this last time, and I was like, oh.
There were a few linguistic jumping jacks here, but I did get some of the insults, even though they were sort of not Scottish, like slang,
Scottish nature,
insults, stuff that might actually be censored on Scottish television. Kind of like on U.S. television, we can say shag all the time, but we can't say fuck. But in Britain, they can say fuck all they want, and it doesn't get censored. But if they say shag, it does.
What?
Did you know that? Something new for you. British knowledge here on a British show.
A show ran by Yanks.
So our second match of the night, after all of that, second match. Ligero versus Travis Banks. I wasn't looking forward to this. I knew it was going to be fast-paced, but somehow I knew I was going to be right, too. Oh, my God. Jerry?
They actually made the comment, like, if you blink your eyes, you'll miss something. I'm like, if I blink my eyes, I'm going to go to sleep.
This was the most fast-paced, boring-ass chain wrestling reversal pin. Oh my God! Oh, but it was only fitting when we got the ending. Colin, you want to drop the ending on the crowd?
Yes.
Oh, it was a double fucking pin, folks. They both went to go look like they were about to do a backslide with each other and hooked in, and then they just kind of wiggled to their asses trying to get free, and they just kind of both turned up at the same time. Both men's shoulders are down, and the referee, 1, 2, 3 with both hands, and then he's like, and then
crowd started booing and everything.
Yeah, immediately, just like it was just shit. From the crowd, we got the man with 2 dicks on his head and the Kiwi buzzkill looking around. What just happened? It was total dog shit. It was a 8-minute waste of time.
Well, each one of them got a 2 count off a backslide right before that.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was this loose story through the entire match, because the entire match was like this. Neither one of them could really get a solid move on the other, because it was so fast-paced and boring. How does that happen? Anyway, that's how it happened. And I don't see how either one of these guys thought they got the victory, because they both had to have felt that their own shoulders were down during the count. They should have just assumed the other guy's shoulders weren't down and been like, oh, fuck, I lost. Yeah. Well, which one of us lost? They both lost.
And that's the end result. They shouldn't have been celebrating in any way, shape, or form. They should have both been like, oh, shit.
We just ruined it for each other. When have
you ever seen a referee pull them back both into the ring to raise both their hands for a draw?
And then
when the hell has that ever happened?
No, here's the thing. He didn't raise their hands. He got them back in the... No, he didn't. No, go back and rewatch. He brought him back in the ring like you would for, let's say, a boxing bout or something, or an MMA bout, where the ref grabs both their wrists, and where normally he would raise one hand as the winner, he didn't raise either hand. He just let go of them. Yes, right? What the fuck?
I think that was just his way of saying, yeah, the match was boring me too. You guys don't win. That's the pettiest shit on the planet.
And then they shook hands after that.
As awful as it was, that was probably the most interesting part of the match, was the ref bringing him back in to raise hands and not raising either.
Yep.
Because this was after it had been announced that it was a draw.
And Travis Banks it's like, I'm cool with this, but you tell Ligero was bugged by it. So I'm hoping this actually translates more into a heel turn for Ligero.
Yeah, but if it is, it should have happened right there.
Yes.
Because then at least there would have been some... it shook hands, and then as soon as... who was it? See, I've already forgotten. As soon as Travis Banks turns around, Ligero should have turned around and fucking run him down.
Yeah.
And just started wailing on him. Then at least the last 7 or 8 minutes of the bullshit we had to watch would have paid off.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. We get a video recap of Jordan Devlin and Dave Mastiff over the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, Jordan Devlin beat Jack Stars, then got on the mic, pronounced himself the greatest superstar in NXT UK, and Dave Mastiff came out and had a problem with this, chased him out of the ring, and then last week, Jordan Devlin basically gets on the mic and essentially calls out Dave Mastiff, who answers, comes out, gets sucker punched in the face, and then reverses Devlin's side, pulls him down, and hits him with a senton. And that is the entirety of what we saw.
Yep.
Any comments on this?
No, we commented on this last week.
Well, they make mention pretty much right after that with also the debut of A-Kid. We'll be getting Mastiff versus...
No, that's the thing. We get the video package, and then we get the announcement for the debut of A-Kid.
Yeah.
And then they sandwich it with the announcement that, what is it, next week?
Yeah.
We're going to finally get Dave Mastiff versus Jordan Devlin. Couldn't they have announced Dave Mastiff versus Jordan Devlin after the fucking promo?
Yeah.
Or the video recap or whatever? Like, it's somebody back there was just off their meds.
And they were also getting Jazzy Gabbert and Jenny versus Ripley and Niven, I think, that week as well. So
but they didn't hype that at all.
They didn't.
Not even a video promo, nothing.
I wonder if they dropped the match.
Maybe somebody's injured, but at the same time, I'm telling you, somebody backstage is clearly not in their right mind when it comes to laying out these shows.
Mm-mm.
They need to get the NXT guy in there, because the job that they have been doing over the last month or two with these live shows they hype, literally in the 2-hour block, they hype you up for tonight's main event, the 2 or 3 matches for next week's show, and at least 1 match, if not more, for the show 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
And they do it very well and very seamlessly. It doesn't feel like it takes up a lot of your time. You just suddenly are salivating because next week you get this, and this, but at the same time, you can't wait for the fucking main event.
Yeah. And even then, it's like, I wonder where this is going to lead. It's like, and so this means in 2 weeks' time, it's like, oh, so now I have something to look forward to, not just this next week, but the week after next too?
I'm still hyped for the main event. Speaking of the main event, after all of that, we are now on to the main event.
Yep.
This is Noam Dar versus Trent Seven. This feud has been going on for a couple of months now. It feels like maybe only 3 or 4 weeks, but it feels like a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, this is it.
I say this much though, it's been a fun feud.
It's been different.
It's one of the very few ones we've had so far that have actually had comedy in it.
Well, somewhat. Most notably to me in this feud, Trent Seven has looked like an asshole.
Yeah.
He's looked like the bad guy, whereas Noam Dar kind of looks like the goofy face that you want to cheer despite his antics.
Yep.
And he's got some serious in-ring psychology antics. He comes out with Trent Seven's towel, only he's written on it, Supernova 11.
And rest in peace, British Strong Style.
Yeah, and this was the towel that he stole after, I think it was Nigel McGuinness said he rubbed it on his haggis.
Yep.
Anyway.
Calm down, before, Nigel. Calm down.
This match really did bring the show together, because it is the culmination of a pretty good feud, and based on the storytelling in the match and the ending, I feel like this is it.
Yeah.
But before I get into, I didn't have a whole lot of notes. I was trying to keep it short, and a lot of the stuff that we saw we've seen before. But before I get into those, your thoughts on the main event, Colin?
I thought it was a good match. I mean, Trent Seven, we've known him to be lackluster lately, especially near the end of the Mustache Mountain little tag run they had and stuff. But Dar attacked Seven before the match even started from the outside, and beat him down pretty decent. He ended up tying Seven's hand to the ring post with said towel and delivering, what is it, a hard big boot or drop kick?
Basement drop kick.
Yeah, right to that hand. And the match finally got underway. He also, we all know Trent Seven has knee issues. He's had those pretty much his whole career, so that's nothing new. And he targeted that as well, targeted the legs, worked on the hand. But I'm sorry, I love Trent Seven. When he can hit that discus and hits it right, it looks so good. That discus lariat or 7-star lariat.
And the ripcord, ripcord.
It's so nice. And when he hits that thing, it's so nice. I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for this match, I think this episode of NXT UK would have been
a dud.
One of the most lackluster ones I've seen in recent memory, for sure. Props to both these guys, but Trent Seven picked up the victory in the end, which obviously he needs, I feel, if they're going to do anything with him at all. I know for a while he was, near the top of the game because of the faction British Strong Style, being in there with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, and then how awesome he played off the crowd, etc. with Mustache Mountain. We remember at TakeOver Blackpool, how over he was.
Yeah.
Being there. I mean, so good match to these guys. Hopefully this is over, and hopefully the Artful Dodger does something with that hair soon, because at one point it looks like a dirty ass mop.
What do you think about the match, Jerry?
It surprised me. It really did. I wasn't expecting much out of Trent Seven. I really never do. Like, basically, when you think of Mustache Mountain, or you think, British Strong Style, you pretty much think gold, silver, bronze. And for me, I'd say top of the tier in that group, Pete Dunne. Tyler Bate,
close
silver.
Second.
Yeah, close, very, very close second. But way on the bottom, pretty much sitting there slumped over, trying to catch his breath.
Eating a steak.
On the bottom where you keep your potatoes.
Is Trent Seven. And it's been a running story for a while now, is the fact that he's always been kind of like the weak link of British Strong Style.
Yeah.
And that he just can't hang with the group and whatnot, and people don't see him as a threat. But now he's getting into better shape. It's taken a little bit of time. He's actually finding a little bit more spark. I think Noam Dar actually brought back a little bit of his spark. He pissed him off to the point where he had to, he had the aggravation going for him, and he wanted nothing more to just dispatch Noam Dar. But Noam Dar, deceptively smart, very, very good in the ring with counters and submissions. So this made for an interesting dynamic. You had Trent Seven with all the passion in the world, trying to hit these moves, but Noam Dar was always one step ahead of him. Very Pete Dunne-ish in that way. He would actually set up spots where it was almost impossible for Trent Seven to escape. And then there was that whole leg lock towards the end where Trent Seven was just drama queen and a half. Maybe 2 inches away from the fucking ropes, and he's screaming and flailing, and
yeah, we had that arm bar on, or knee bar on him.
It was very much like watching Lil Jon in Robin Hood Men in Tights drown in the river.
Yeah. Very reminiscent. Yeah.
Just barely any water, and he's splashing everywhere. That was what it was like watching Trent Seven go over the ropes.
Yeah, like you, I was surprised by this match. I thought they were going to rest on their laurels and just have a match with all the story leading up to it. The last match they had kind of finished with the story where Trent Seven got so pissed off that he just kept beating on Noam Dar in the ropes and got disqualified. This match, we've seen matches start before the bell before, but this was just so calculating, where Noam Dar knew Trent Seven was going to enter the ring like he does, where he kind of does that slow roll.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks okay when he does it with Tyler Bate, but I still think it's goofy and unnecessary. Anyway, so Noam Dar immediately basement drop kicks his right shoulder and sends him outside, throws him shoulder first into the steps, and then, as Colin said, ties his right arm to the ring post and drop kicks it.
Yeah.
And he thinks at this point he has done enough initial damage. I think he goes in for some sort of kick or Nova roller, but just gets clotheslined, turned inside out by Trent Seven and the bad arm. And then they tell the story of the bad arm and then the leg, because Noam Dar's got that knee bar through the entire match. They also tell the story of Trent Seven still being pissed off and Noam Dar doing the head games, to where, again, and this was toward the beginning of the match, Noam Dar purposely got under the ropes and called in Trent Seven, like, come on. And Trent Seven goes in and starts beating on him. And after a 2 count, he realizes, oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I fucked it up last time. So after that, we get like a 15-minute fucking match.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they tell this story throughout to the points where, like Jerry said, Noam Dar's got that knee bar on Trent Seven, and he's selling it like he's in a 2-inch river. Essentially, he hits. Let's see. He goes for the 7. He hits a 7-star lariat at some point, gets a near fall, but he goes for one. It gets ducked and countered. Noam Dar goes for a 7-star lariat, left-handed, mind you, and that gets countered. Trent Seven hits. What does he hit off of that? A Snapdragon, much better looking than the one he did originally, because he did 2 of them in this match.
That first one was bad.
Then hits the 7-star lariat for a near fall, and then somehow Noam Dar gets back on top, and then he goes to taunt Trent Seven with that pinky, and Trent Seven grabs his pinky, and then he hits. What does he hit? A bop and bang, and then grabs the hands, does the Pete Dunne finger snap, and then picks him up for a burning hammer. And as soon as he hit the burning hammer, I was like, oh, this match is over. Sure enough, 1, 2, 3, Trent Seven with the victory.
I like the homage to Pete and Tyler when he did the pop and bang and finger snap. Like, that was a nice little homage to the British Strong Style.
Yeah, that's the second pop and bang that we got to see this week.
I think it's also very kind of fitting. It's almost like watching Captain Planet form. it's like he was hit
by the power of Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, and the burning hammer.
Pita Dunne.
Well, that brings us to the end of the main event, and here on the NXT party, we like to rate the main event using good old-fashioned NXT, although I don't think any of us is actually drinking tea this week.
No?
For me, I'm actually drinking non-caffeinated soda. Colin, you are our guest this week, so you get to go first. Out of 5 spots of NXT, where do you rate this main event?
Well, I'm drinking my 0-calorie, 0-carb diet water. It's so good.
You're so basic.
All right, so this match is probably the best Trent Seven match I've seen since Grizzled Young Veterans tag match, I want to say.
I'd say about that.
So,
yep, easily.
So I'm just gonna go a little above middle of the road. I'm gonna go a solid 3. The show wasn't anything to write home about, so I'm not gonna give it any extra, an extra little show cube or anything like that. I'm good. Solid 3 around the board.
Jerry?
I think with this match, we actually had a short feud that meant something for at least a little bit. It's the first time we've actually had any kind of feud that showed any kind of humor to it, which was entertaining in itself. We had the right amount of vignettes leading into it. We had the first initial encounter that ended pretty shady and led to this match. And Trent Seven got retribution. Noam Dar came out of the match looking like $1 million still, because he sold like crazy and just performed in a great solid match. It was kind of a clinic, but at the same time, it was kind of one of those clinics you really don't trust too much. Like,
Side of town?
like if somebody offered you to, do a hernia test for you outside the clinic, you wouldn't want to do it. But at the same time, I thoroughly enjoyed the match. I thought the ending was appropriate because you kept on talking about how British Strong Style's dead and are obviously still alive inside Trick 7.
Yeah, he ate them.
God.
That's why they're not on TV other than a backstage vignette. That was recorded weeks ago before he fried them up and fucking ate them. Anyway. So what's your rating, Jerry?
I'm actually going to go a little bit higher than Colin on this one because I actually enjoyed the match and I'm not really sad to see a few go, but I'm glad to see some finality to it. I'm going to give it 3.25.
So I thought this match was good, and for me it was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
So I would agree with you and go one better or a little bit better than my basic good, which is 3 stars. And also, with the story that they told in the ring and all of that, I'm a story guy. With the story leading up to it, as touch and go as it was, I want to increase it again. I want to go 3.5. But whereas sometimes I will give it an extra 1/4 star off the back of a great show, and I don't know if I've done this yet. This might be the first. Because we had the opening segment with Imperium and Gallus, and somehow it was still kind of
flop.
It was tepid. It was lukewarm. I don't know who Luke is or why he gets his own temperature, but fuck you. Anyway, it was very tepid. The best part of the show was the tag match, and there was nothing surprising in that tag match except a couple of offensive moves that were kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And just the rest of the show
was forgettable.
Yeah. So I'm going to take off a 1/4 that I added. I'm going to settle in and agree with Jerry. 3.25 spots of tea for the main event. I know that's a lot of math, but again, I'm the math guy.
Support No DQ.
So that brings us to the end of this episode of the NXT Party. Thank you, Colin, for joining us this week. As always, a pleasure. And if you would like to join us on a future episode of the NXT Party up on the big screen, come have a spot of what normally is NXT with us and help us review a future episode of NXT UK. You can find us on social media, but you can also find Colin and his channel and his social media. Where can we do that, Colin?
Where are you?
Oh, man. Well, you can follow me on the good old Twitter machine at NoDQ, Colin Andrew. You can follow me over on Instagram at Colin26Andrew. And you can follow me right here on the YouTube at the Cleaver Colin Andrew. So find me there. Join these guys. We need someone else to do these videos because I will be taking a hiatus here soon. Going to have a brand new baby in the house.
He's gonna have one of them there infants.
One of them there babies.
Yeah.
So
a little kitchen knife,
in the next
if you will.
2 weeks. So yeah, we're getting Colin in as we can until his brief, hopefully, hiatus.
2 years tops.
2 years tops.
Yeah.
But
Won't be that long, though.
yeah, we could always use a new member of the NX team. So you can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted. Cunt bomb, fuck bomb, shit bomb. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter
at NoDQ General, and also my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR. Exclamation point! Always awesome to see.
Yeah,
I'm gonna miss that. Unless Chris May starts doing it, because that's what he does.
Don't steal my gimmick. I will sue for gimmick infringement.
No, he's going to hold up a piece of paper that said, like I said, exclamation point.
Or question mark.
Yes.
But yeah, join us there. And I should change it to the question mark at some point. That'd be hilarious.
God damn it, who put a question mark in a teleprompter? You don't know read anything you say.
So, yeah, find us on Armbar. Don't add us on Facebook. We won't add you. But
We
you
don't
can,
like you.
You can follow me on Instagram now at osborne.stefan, where I have no content, just a profile picture. So follow me, won't you? Yeah. If you like our video, click the like button that's over here underneath me and Rocco. See Rocco there? And also, do yourself a favor, if you like all of our videos, click the subscribe button that's over there underneath Jerry and the Union Jack mug. If you are watching this on NoDQ.com, click that bell icon, because we also review NXT, and we do that live here on the channel every Thursday morning at some bumfuck o'clock.
About 9.
About 9 o'clock.
Give or take a pinch or two. Yeah, that bell icon will let you know when we go live if you'd like to join us in the chat room.
Eastern.
Yeah, Eastern time.
9 Eastern.
Yeah, I'm not really expecting too many people from California, but we've getting a lot of viewers in the chat room from England.
Yeah.
So join us sometime in the mid or early afternoon.
The Arvo.
Yes. So find us at Aftermatch Wrestling on YouTube. That's all one word, AFTERMATCH space wrestling. I got him with that. And
why did you throw space in there?
So it's not all one word, Aftermatch Wrestling. It is 2 words, but Aftermatch is 1 word.
Wrestling?
That was wrestling.
How'd that make you feel, you ass?
We are at like 118 subscribers. That's why we do NXT review live on NoDQ, because we hit 100. At 250 subscribers, we are going to start doing this show, the NXT Party, live on Aftermatch. Now that we know that we can. We haven't tried it yet.
Nope.
But YouTube says I need 1,000 subscribers, but that's only to use my phone. I do have a laptop. We can try it. So get us to 250, and we will give it a go.
And that after we figure out what the hell we're doing. Because right now we're still kind of dead in the water trying to get our main titles out.
Yeah, this is true. But other than that, I think that's all the plugs.
I believe so.
Definitely go to NoDQ.com/merch. Get yourself some NoDQ merch. I don't think the beanies are available, but you can get a ball cap. And it's really, really good looking. I'm waiting on them to have bandanas, of course. Still haven't gotten word back on the bandanas, but get your t-shirts, man. I believe there's still a link where you can go get my t-shirt. I have a t-shirt. It's orange. It's awesome. Speaking of orange,
Pro Wrestling Tees.
Next week on What's NXT, we are going to have our 2nd annual Halloween, as Jerry has newly named it, Spooktacular.
I just suggested he's rolling with it. I was tired. I'm sorry.
What does that mean? That means all orange lights, folks. That means I should be in costume. And my only hint to you is I am the Hollow Wizard. Just playing on the wizard gimmick, folks.
He's going to put Chris Mace's face over his face like Hannibal Lecter.
No, Chris Mace should have a portion of everybody's face that does the show, just to complete a whole face. Like, you could even make it look stitched or whatever. And then just for the whole show, he just says, like I said, or like he said, or like Cindy said, or like whoever.
Like she said.
Yep, that is what she says. So, for the Cleaver, Colin Andrew, for the General Jerry Slaughter, I am the Wizard of NoDQ, Stefan Osborne. Thank you for having a spot of NXT with us, and we will see you in NXT time.